Chief Twit no more. Linda Yaccarino has announced that she is stepping down as CEO of X Corp, of course, the Elon Musk owned version of Twitter. And it is surprising everyone that it happened so suddenly after she only had a 2-year tenure at the company. What does this mean? I'm going to give my thoughts on it, so sit back, relax, and welcome to Studio Jake. Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Don't pull right down the side. Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Berry. Welcome to the Studio Jake vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and if you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell to get notifications when I post a new vidcast and consider becoming a channel member. Don't forget, if you want to support me in the work that I do, subscribe at my new website, studiojakemedia.substack.com, where you can get even more pop culture takes, and some really cool perks. By the way, if you hear a loud sawing in the background, that is because my neighbor decided to mow his lawn right as I'm recording this. All right, so Linda Yaccarino is stepping away from her role as CEO of X Corp. As you know, X Corp was originally Twitter, which was owned in part largely by Jack Dorsey, and then it was taken over by Elon Musk, and he changed it into X. So he hired Linda to be the CEO shortly thereafter, and she has released this statement about her departure. This is from her Twitter account. It says, "After 2 incredible years, I've decided to step down as CEO of X. When Elon Musk and I first spoke of his vision for X, I knew it would be the opportunity of a lifetime to carry out the extraordinary mission of this company. I'm immensely grateful to him for entrusting me with the responsibility of protecting free speech, turning the company around, and transforming X into the everything app. I'm incredibly proud of the X team. The historic business turnaround we have accomplished together has been nothing short of remarkable. We started with the critical early work necessary to prioritize the safety of our users, especially children, and to restore advertiser confidence. This team has worked relentlessly from groundbreaking innovations like Community Notes and soon X Money to bringing the most iconic voices and content to the platform. Now the best is yet to come as X enters a new chapter with XAI. X is truly a digital town square for all voices and the world's most powerful cultural signal. We couldn't have achieved that without the support of our users, business partners, and the most innovative team in this world. I'll be cheering you all as you continue to change the world. As always, I'll see you on X." So why was she let go or asked to step down, or why is she backing away, however you want to frame it? I think that there are a couple of reasons. And one is that Grok was sending out some very bigoted messages. It was kind of echoing, let's just say, Goebbels, if you're familiar with history, particularly Axis powers history, 1940s Germany kind of stuff. You get the idea. And that really caused problems for Elon Musk, who's been really pushing back that X has become a platform for hate speech. Personally, I don't think that hate speech should be banned. Hate speech is part of free speech. I want to see who is the deplorable person saying this deplorable thing. I think that's a good idea. But that doesn't mean I want X's AI Grok or Super Grok or whatever it's called now to be echoing those sentiments. Secondly, a lot of comments that she made regarding freedom of speech but not reach, that kind of put a sour taste in everyone's mouth because Elon Musk was really hyping this idea that X would no longer just penalize you for opinions, that it won't affect your reach or whatever. Personally, I still think I'm shadow banned for things I said during the 2020 pandemic. That's just my opinion. And I think that that played into role. It led to a lot of mistrust of Linda in that regards because she really should have not said that, especially Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk has kind of subtly echoed those sentiments, especially in regards to he doesn't want you to post your third party website. So he doesn't want me to post from my Substack. He wants me to post my content onto X. Well, X can't be a catch-all for everything. People have their own personal brands, their own personal websites, and you can't just put that all on X. It's unrealistic. But Elon Musk wants to kind of take away my reach for that. And like I said, I still think I'm subtly shadow banned for the stuff I said during the pandemic. It's very frustrating But who knows? I could be incorrect about both those things. But I think those two issues are what played a role in Linda being fired or asked to step down, or she said there's too much pressure, I'm backing away. Whatever the case may be, that is what I think personally. Now, I could be completely wrong, and this was a 2-year tenure to the beginning, or she's gotten a better offer at a different company. I don't know. This is purely my speculation. I want to make that clear. Now, another aspect of this that kind of surprises me is all the adoration she's getting from people who claim they're on the free speech bandwagon, so to speak. If you look at the replies to the message I just read to you, it's people who are conservatives or just free speech liberals all showering her with all kinds of adoration. Now, that surprises me because, like I said, she might be for freedom of speech, but she's not for freedom of reach, and those things tie in together. Personally, I don't understand this attitude. For one thing, she doesn't come from a free speech background. She was part of NBC Universal. She was part of the mainstream media. She was part of the ad council, which uses taxpayer dollars to put out, well, ads that are supposed to be, good or whatever. She came from Turner Media, whose owner and founder, well, he's not the owner anymore, I don't think, but Ted Turner, who believes in the largely debunked overpopulation myth and has promoted it and has even gone to communist countries to talk about it. Not to mention, she partnered with the Biden administration during its efforts to curb the pandemic by making it worse, by putting us under house arrest, by censoring our speech, by taking away our freedom of religion, by threatening people with arrest and strong arm tactics. Linda worked with the Biden administration during this, but she's getting all this accolades. Why? Because she briefly worked for Elon Musk. She was not right for the role. She didn't even come from like a marketing or social media or networking background. She came from a mainstream media globalist perspective. And so, yeah, of course, she wasn't right for that. That was the whole, oh, yes, I'll give you freedom of speech, but not for reach. That is what that was about. She doesn't want to give reach to people who disagree with her or have an alternative take to it. As a final note on this, I do hope she lands on her feet. I have no ill will for her. She's committed no crimes as far as I know. So I hope she finds a good place. Now, who would I want to take over as CEO of X? I don't have a list of names, but it needs to be someone who believes in freedom of speech. It needs to be someone who can curb the outlandish things Grok is saying, someone who has better control over when they ask Grok, is this true? Because I've noticed that has become a problem where Grok will just echo talking points from the mainstream media, because that's what AIs do, right? They search the media, and right now the mainstream media is always pushed in their algorithms, so it always gives sort of this far left biased opinion. I shouldn't say always, a lot of the time it does. I find that really interesting. And also someone better control over community notes. I think that would make a lot more sense, because community notes does get a little bit out of hand when it comes to certain topics. And again, that is just my opinion. I really think that would work. And like I said, I don't have a particular name. I know Mr. Beast has thrown his name into the mix, but whoever it is, it needs to be someone who has a firm stance on free speech and freedom of reach. I think the algorithm should boost people who are good at being boosted. And also, we need someone who can get rid of all the bots. This is a big problem, especially bots pushing sort of adult material, especially with children being on the platform, which I think you should have an age verification for all these socials. Now, if you're thinking, well, Jacob, we have all these alts. Well, really, the only viable options to X is really Facebook. But even they're not doing so well because they're pushing groups so hard. I don't know why that is. I don't know why groups are being pushed so hard on Facebook. It needs to go back to being about pages and your personal account. That really needs to happen. These social media platforms, they have such big egos. As far as genuine alts, so something not on the mainstream, it seems right now the only viable options are Truth Social. That one seems to still be growing. For video sharing, of course, Rumble. And there's an up and coming one that I'm on called Pickaxe Social. You've probably seen them post. I share their stuff all the time on my X feed. I think that they are going to be a viable option. They're still sort of in the pre-launch phase. They just completed the beta. and they're unlocking a whole bunch of new features. And by the way, this is not a paid advertisement. I do know the founder of Pickaxe. He's a really cool guy named Jeff Dornick. He's got a great podcast, by the way, and I really am looking forward to seeing what they have in store. But as far as Linda Yaccarino leaving X, I actually don't have a problem with this. I think it's a good thing. I hope she lands on her feet, but I also hope Elon Musk replaces her with someone who doesn't have such a mainstream media globalist perspective. If you like that video, be sure to give it a like, share it out to all your friends, leave me a comment and tell me what you think, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new vidcast, and consider becoming a channel member. If you want to support me in the work that I do, head on over to my new website, studiojakemedia.substack.com. You can read most of my articles for free, or you can subscribe, and that really helps me out. It unlocks different tiers depending on which subscription you choose, so thank you in advance. On that same website, in the conveniently titled Buy My Books section, you can pick up one or all of my books. It's perfect for Prime Day deals as they're all on Amazon. Pick them up, leave me a 5-star review. It really helps out small indie creators like myself. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.
'Cause I've been living life right like I